Hello, karibuni tena to Evahkanyua podcast. It's good to have you back. And today we have a very incredible woman. She's a mother, she's a wife, she's a woman of faith, and she's the head of sales at Nawiriland Investment Ltd. And
Yes.
karibu sana.
Thank you.
You're most welcome.
Mm.
Can you briefly introduce yourself to our audience?
Okay. Thank you so much, first of all, for inviting me. It's a privilege. So, my name is Ann Wamuyu. I'm a born-again Christian. I am a mother. I am a wife. I am a career woman, business woman. I am a daughter. I am a sister. I'm an auntie. I'm all those things. Yes.
It's good to have you, Ann. Most of the time when I'm talking to women, I love starting from externally coming in. And as you have defined yourself, you're a businesswoman, which has been a very core part of your life. Tell us about your business.
So, as a family, we have a real estate company that is called Nawiriland Investment Ltd, which is a dream come true for my family, especially for my husband. It's a journey that has taken several years. It's an interesting journey and something that we are really grateful to God to see it come to manifest. So Nawiriland is a real estate company. We help people to actualize their ownership dream of owning property, especially in a world where there are so many counterfeits, so many challenges, yet there are people who are ready to invest in land. So we help people actualize their property ownership dreams. We usually say that you come, you invest, and you thrive. So that is our business. Yes.
And land ownership is a very sensitive topic in the country. There are many people with vast acres of land. There are people with none.
Mm-hmm.
What inspired you to venture into such a sensitive area?
So what inspired us, let me say us, as a family, first of all, I would say maybe it was my husband's dream, which later became a family dream. So in earlier years, I can say a few years ago, my husband was employed in a real estate company to sell land, and that is what inspired him, that he was able to help people to own land, especially in places where it was at least affordable. And with seeing the fulfillment and the joy in people owning land in the real way, in the legal way, in the right way, inspired him what if he would do it for his own company, his own benefit. But if it was his land that he's selling, would it be more better? And the other thing is that with so many companies and so many stories of people being conned, we wanted to be different in as a real estate, where we would endeavor to sell the real deal, authentic process of owning land. So these are some of the things that inspired us. We wanted to enter into real estate, do it the right way, help people own land in the right way, because there are so many people who desire to own land, so many young people, but they don't know where to go, they don't know who to trust. So our desire was to be that company that can be trustworthy, that can be trusted with helping people to own land. So that is how we started our company. Yes.
And when you say the affordable land, the affordability of the land, does it come from where the land is situated? Does it come from just how much it's worth? What brings these price differences in land?
So affordability, of course, it comes with the location.
Mm.
The location of where the land is. For example, in more developed areas, of course, the land will be expensive. In a bit remote areas, the land is a bit cheaper. So with the research that we did, for example, in Ruiru, because we reside in Ruiru, a few years ago, before the Thika Road was ever developed, the land in Ruiru was very, very cheap, you can say very affordable, but not most people had that knowledge of investing in that land at that time. So we encourage people not to, if you are able to invest in land with the money that you have, even if it's a remote area, in 10 years time, that place will have grown, it will have developed, and you at least get a lot of money, because land appreciates, land never depreciates. You get a lot of profit, a lot of increase on your investment. So that is why we say we sell affordable land, which is in remote areas. For example, we have a project in Matu, and Matu is really coming up very fast.
Yeah.
Many companies are moving there, and this is the time to buy in Matu, because in the next 5 years, the prices will have hiked. Because the more real estate the more the real estate company is growing. For example, in the place like in Matu, that place continues to attract more investors. It attracts growth, it attracts a lot of things. So in the next 5 years, that land will not be the same price as what we are selling as per today. So we encourage especially young people who can be able to afford, even if it's a remote area, they should just invest. Because with land, you can never lose. Because land will always appreciate. Yes.
I'm looking at a buyer who wants a piece of land, and different buyers have different demands. So there's a buyer who wants land for farming, there's a buyer who wants to build a home, there's a buyer who wants to build apartments, there's a buyer who wants to start industry probably. What advice do you give these buyers, and what options do you give them when they're coming to you?
Okay, so we have different types of buyers with different interests, and all of them come to us, and we try to help them at least with the desires that they have kulingana na venye wanataka. So the main thing that we encourage buyers, despite the type of land you're looking for, is that you must ensure you do your due diligence whenever you're buying land, either from Nawiriland or any other company. Make sure you do your due diligence. So for example, you want land for farming, you have of course to, we put up the portfolio of the lands that we have, that you can do farming according to your preference. So we do not have very broad places of land, but tutakuonyesha zenye tuko nazo zenye unaweza lima. But the first thing we encourage the buyer is always to do their due diligence. And the first step to doing your due diligence is a site visit. Site visits are very important whenever you are planning to buy land. Make sure the first step is to go and visit the land yourself. Or if kuna wenye wako diaspora, you can send a trusted person to visit the land. In order, for example, if it is an industry, how far it is from the road, the land, the environment, the environmental condition of the land. So the first step a buyer must do is site visit, because the word of mouth is not that sufficient. So encourage people to go for site visit. After site visit, if the land interests you, you go for something that is called a title search. The company can share with you a copy of the title. You go to the land registry or the Ministry of Lands and do a search. Whether the details, the owner is the rightful owner, the legal owner. You have also to do land history. Who has owned that land before? What are the transactions? Is the has there been cases or disputes of within that land, uweze kuelewa the history of that land.
Hiyo tasisikia mtu akifanya land ama wanafanyanga sijui.
Yeah, you can. So that is why you have to engage professionals. A professional lawyer or somebody who has done this thing, who is trustworthy. There's land history where you can go isachiwe kama imekuwa na history ya makesi, history ya maloan, kama imesimamishwa, imewekwa restraint or something. Those are very important to do before you buy land. Then the other thing is the environmental history. You can visit the land yourself, talk with the neighbors, how is it, Unaona venye watu wanasemanga ni wapi kuna nyeshanga, kuna flood.
Yes.
Make sure now you do your due diligence. Ili at the end of the day, when you have decided to buy that land, you have been satisfied. And you'll be able to avoid being conned. Yes. So ensure also involve professional people. Yes, in the land process.
Okay. So site visit, important. Land search or title search.
Yes.
Then
Land history.
Yes. Environmental history.
Yes.
And then you engage a professional.
Yes.
This information should be out there. Like people should know. There are so many challenges that have come with buying of land.
Yes.
Or selling of land. Maybe people who just skipped one of those steps. Has this ever come up to you, and how have you been able to handle it?
Okay, I can't say ishai to happen here, but we've heard of people who it has happened to. Yes, because of maybe over trusting somebody or not knowing the exact process of owning land or being in haste. People who are hasty, basically lack of information. I would say lack of information is what makes people to be conned, to go in the wrong direction. Because there are a lot of con. I think we also owning land, you also have to pray about it for God to guide you. If there's anything fishy, at least iweze kujulikana mapema. But my encouragement is just that do your due diligence, do your part and get professionals. Do not be in a rush. That is what I would say.
Okay.
Yes.
And let's say, what is this called? So there's the sale of land. You need to market this land. This land needs to go. And probably you as a company have acquired it. I need to sell it. How is that process? How long probably does it take? Is it easily liquidatable? You're selling it very fast, or does it take time?
So it depends. Selling of land is not easy. Again, it's not that tough. It takes putting a lot of hard work, especially marketing. Marketing is very important. Putting out your name there, your brand there, so to get a wide scope of people who can buy your land. So we have embraced online marketing, digital marketing. We have active pages. We have active Facebook page, Instagram. We are there. TikTok. We are there actively marketing the lands that we have. We have sales agents who also help us in marketing our land. So the key part is marketing. Putting out your name there, your brand name there. We also get a lot of referrals from people who have bought with us. They have seen the process, they have gotten their titles, they bring a lot of referrals. So we can say it's not that easy, but it's not that also difficult.
Okay.
Yes.
Typically, how long would it take you from having a land and selling it?
So if it is, for example, the project I would say Nawiriland Gardens that is in Maturu, which is almost done. It has remained a few plots. With acquiring the land, it may take, because you have to look for the right place, talk with the owner, that process, and then it can take 1 to 6 months or 8 months. It takes a period of time because you have to acquire the land, muweze kuprocess titles, and those titles there is a plot, so it takes a period of time like 6 months. Then selling takes maybe from those 6 months to a bit like 1 year, 2 years. Yes.
Okay.
Mm.
And from the history of how you worked with lands, who are your greatest clients? People who are buying for shambas, homes, rentals?
I would say, okay, our market is diverse, but yeah, we've seen young people who are in business. They are really investing. We've also seen bit old people who are also investing for their children. We've seen people who have invested, they are just looking for a place they can put up their money as a saving way of putting up their money. But we are seeing young people really coming up in business, in employment. They are really investing.
Are they buying for homes or are they buying for apartments?
Kuna wenye wananunua za kujenga
Yeah.
Kuna wenye wananunua for speculation, ikae hapo appreciate. Kuna wenye wananunua mostly for homes and speculation.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, that's a good hearing that most young people are buying land. It's really a good thing.
Yes.
And since it's a family business, how are you able to manage now a business and a family?
So business and family, can say, okay, how do I say it? Okay, we are in business, we are in family, we are also in ministry. So we are trying to balance a lot of things. And one thing we've done as a family is planning our time. That is what has really worked for us, because we are living in a time where people are very busy, and unless you're very intentional, you will not find time for family. So we plan our days because of the very many things that we have. So we have days, we have the family day, where we get to have both of us as a couple with our children, play with them, teach them how to pray, teach them the word of God. We have a day where we've set aside as a couple, where we call it date night or coffee dates, where we go and talk as a couple. So you have to, what we have seen working for us is planning. Because you plan, you set the date, you set the specific time for you to specifically and intentionally spend time together. Because tukiachilia hivyo kuna mahali tutapoteza.
Okay.
Yes.
And what are some of the values that you've been able to carry from maybe home to work, or from work to home?
Some of the values.
Yeah.
For some of the values that we have carried from, I would say first of all from job, from the business that I have also learned from my husband or my spouse, is consistency in business. Because in business, especially in the Nawiriland, you have to be really consistent in marketing. Consistency, putting out your name there consistently. I would say that is a trait that I am also learning, the art of consistency. And that is something we are incorporating in our family, trying to be that consistent in those schedules, in those commitments. Can you be consistent in the plans that you have? Consistency. I would say that is one of the values that has really struck out for me.
Yes.
The other values is the godly values, which we endeavor to embrace in our business and also in our home. Godly values is we are a family that fears God.
Yeah.
And we want that even as the clients come, they may have that confidence that the land we are selling is legitimate, that they should trust our integrity. And at home, we teach our children the word of God, the fear of God, God having the center stage in our lives.
Yes.
So that is also very key, actually is the most key thing for us as a family and even in business, creating a culture of of godly values, even at the workplace. Yes.
Okay. Oh, that's good. Because there's so much probably instability in some of the families that run a home and work at the same time, and you find there's lots of friction. When values are not aligned, then you find there's so many frictions in between. The process are not streamlined. You do not know this is what you're supposed to do, and the other person this is what's supposed to do. You're supposed to do. In your case, have you delegated that? Does your husband like have a specific role in the company?
Okay, in the company, he has a specific role, and to clarify, that is where I help him in his role. He's the CEO of the company. He has that specific role. Yes, in the company. Yes. So majorly, he's the CEO. He's the overall in charge of the business, the running of the business. Yes.
And in terms of duties or activity, he goes out. Is he the one who goes out now to look for land or land to buy?
To clarify, Nawiriland is an investment company. It's registered. It's also registered with the Land Real Estate Organization Association. So it's a company that is owned by 5 directors. 5 directors. My husband is the chief executive officer. So with the acquiring of land, we have to involve the board of directors in acquiring of land. It's not just us. So it's a whole team. It's a whole team that is behind the investment company.
Okay. Well, that's good. It's good to know how family businesses run and how the operations are delegated to each member probably in the family. Your children, are they able to learn from you? Or are they too little to understand at this point what is happening?
I'm not saying they understand. Maybe it's something we need to bring them up as they grow because they're still young. Yes, they're still young. So they are not yet engaged in the business. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's talk about the place of faith in your business and your home. Where do you put faith?
Faith in our home is the number one, the topmost. It's the center of our lives. Somebody would say that Jesus is the center of my life. So faith, actually we cannot do anything without faith. Starting the business was a step of faith. Starting a family is a step of faith. Everything about us is about faith in God. And when you say success in this life, which I believe the only factor to success in life, true success, is God, the God factor. God being the center of our family, God being the center of our business, Him being our help, Him being our guide, Him being our wisdom. We completely rely on God in our lives. Yes.
Okay. And how have you been? How have you blended faith in your marriage?
Faith in our marriage. Okay. As I said, that faith is everything. God is everything in our marriage, and faith is the centermost of our marriage. So the first thing I would say is that as individuals, both of us are born again. Both of us are working individually, first of all, with our relationship with God. And as a family, we're also working together as a family, having an intimate relationship with God.
Yeah.
So in our marriage, we involve God in everything, which means we communicate a lot. We communicate a lot in our marriage. We communicate a lot in order for us to pray together about the issues. I would say, for example, I'm a wife and my husband is the head of the home. There are things as a wife, I have to understand that there are things that only God can do. Maybe that is what has brought a lot of balance in our marriages, is not to expect from each other what only God can do. So we endeavor first of all to communicate a lot with each other so that we may pray together and we may also pray for each other. So I would say that marriage can only stand when it is handed over to God. When you accept the values of God, to be taught of God, to learn from God, because only God can teach us what true love is. Only God can teach us how to treat one another, how to treat each other as husband and wife, how to treat our children. So our work is just to learn from Him, to learn from His Word, to grow our personal relationships with God, to grow our children. We also embrace mentorship, we embrace fellowship with other people, keeping ourselves in good companies of people who are in support of marriage. Basically, we seek avenues where we can grow in marriage. Yes.
And so many families right now, our marriages are struggling to find balance, to stand, or even move. You might not know, but in your perception, what do you think is missing?
Marriages that are struggling to balance between work,
To stand themselves.
to stand themselves.
Yeah.
So there are so many things that I think can cause marriage to have people in marriage to struggle, because there are so many factors, and because we are so different people, kulingana na the different types of people. But one thing I would say that most marriages may have challenge in, and the main one in inasemango a lot of time, is communication, where people can be honest with each other, where people can be vulnerable with each other, and where people can reach a point to accommodate each other, to be vulnerable and to be open in communication. The key thing is, I think it's communication, majorly communication. Most people do not communicate. There is miscommunication. When there is lack of proper communication, people end up filling in the gaps for themselves. And I think that is where the enemy finds a loophole, because when there is a breakage in communication.
Yeah.
Because when people communicate, the other aspect is two people cannot work together unless they agree.
Yes.
So I believe people in marriage should have accepted that they want to be in that marriage, that they are on the same team, that they are for that marriage to work, for it to stand. So both of them have to be willing, even though there is an instability, they have to be willing and in agreement that they will find a solution to help them and help their marriage to stand, which comes back to communication. So I think most marriages struggle because of communication. The other thing is lack of self-awareness, lack of being aware as a woman and as a man, and mostly lack of putting God in His place. There are things we can expect from each other as human beings, and there are things we can trust and believe in God for. Maybe I would give an example. Maybe there's a family that is struggling financially, in a place of conflict. But most times our families or couples tend to blame each other. But I believe if you communicate and each individual looks inward rather than outward, they can find a solution for whatever they may be going through. That is where I think faith is a major factor for families to stand, even businesses to stand. Because at that point of challenges, you'll be able to learn from God.
Yes.
As the Bible says that all ye that are weary and burdened to come to Jesus, and you make our burdens lighter. Learning from God, learning from the Word of God. But majorly, I think it's communication. Lack of communication. Communication creates intimacy. When people stop communicating, it creates a distance, and a lot of things come in the middle of those marriages. Yes.
Oh, that's a good perception. And there's something you said that learn from God. What have you learned from God in running a business?
Learning from God in running a business. First of all, in running a business, it takes a lot of faith and not giving up. And waking up every day and having hope that today you will sell.
Yes.
And being consistent. So, learning from God, you have hope. That even if today you've not made a sale, tomorrow you make a sale. Being consistent. We also learned that there is a blessing in humble beginnings. The key thing that we have to do is just to start, and the rest God orders the way. That the first step of faith is very important, not to despise humble beginnings, as the Bible says, and the theory of the mustard seed. That mustard seed can grow to become a big thing. So what we learn from God is faith. Business requires a lot of faith and a lot of hope, a lot of positivity. Yes, because out of nothing can come a lot of things.
Yeah, true. And what are some of the challenges that you as a company have been able to overcome as you go, especially now that you're really in a very tough economic times? And sometimes things are looking stagnant and not moving, but you keep going. You're keeping going.
Yes, that is true. There are seasons where you find yourself it's quiet. The business is not moving. The plots are not moving. There's been a challenge, especially last year. The past few years, it has not been easy. So the challenge of not selling is there. Sijui ni cash flow or the economy imekuwa chini, but that challenge has been there, where you do not have sales, you have bills to pay, you have employees to pay, so you have to keep on moving.
Yes.
There's no option. So the one way we have been able to overcome is consistency. You cannot give up. Consistency to keep on marketing. That consistency, as I said before, is being consistent in marketing. That is the only way to break resistance. And not the only way, but the other thing is God. We really have to pray for your business, for God to bring clients from every other side to give us favor, to give us open doors. I think faith is the topmost for us as a business to overcome challenges, because we have been having very challenging economic times.
Yeah.
There's a period where it has been very silent, I would say so.
Yes.
But what was keeping us moving is God and consistency.
Yes.
We cannot give up. We have to continue pushing. Yes.
When you look at the real estate field, either it's selling of land, building, construction, it has mainly been a man-dominated field, and to some extent, women have not been able to break through. Is there information that women do not have that is privy to men, or what is happening? In your opinion, since you're inside the field?
I've not been in a field for a long time.
Yes, but you can give us what maybe you have observed.
What I have observed, I have not interacted with a lot of real estate companies. But of course, the most people you see as the CEOs are men. There are very few women.
Yeah.
So I may not know the challenges.
Is there a name? Not taboo, what do we call it?
A stereotype.
Stereotyping, like woman owning all these plots of land and then selling to us as men.
That is interesting. I have no idea. Let me not engage on that. But I know there are women who are in real estate. working with their husbands mostly.
Mm.
Maybe there are also women who are working alone, venye hatuwezi kuwa tunajua.
Maybe there are not many.
Yes, maybe there are not many.
Mm.
I don't know. I've not really thought about it, but women also, they make very good sales agents.
Yes.
Yes, they really make good sales agents. If it is turning over, as in tengeneza pesa, kuuza ploti, they're really good. Yes, yes.
Okay. I think it's something that women should look into and probably
Growing.
venture
Yes,
into that, so that it doesn't become too male-dominated area. Not that we want to overcome men, but it's just a leveled playground, where anybody can share.
I believe so. Women are coming up, and I believe you'll start seeing more women CEOs in real estate. I believe they are there, maybe not many, but it's an area that we can really grow as women.
Okay. Someone is looking to buy land in Kenya specifically. What is the advice you can give them?
In Kenya?
Yeah.
A foreigner or a Kenyan?
Let's talk to a Kenyan first.
I would encourage any person that land is a good investment. It is good to buy land, to own a piece of land. Land, pesa ya shamba huwa ipotelei. As I said before, that land never depreciates but always appreciates. It's a good place where you can lay your investment for a longer period of time, for commercial use. Basically, land is among the greatest investments, I would say. The size of the land does not matter. It can either be acres, it can either be an eighth of an acre. The size does not matter as long as you put an investment on land. It's very important. Kenya is really growing fast, and our economy is growing even though we're having challenges. I believe in Kenya. Kenya is a great country to invest in.
Yes.
It's a blessed country. We have peace, we have good climate. In the near future, I believe more investors will come into our land. So investing now is the best time to invest as a young person. You see our grandparents or parents who were wise in their generation to invest, the way they are reaping really good.
Sure.
So as young people, it's our time to invest. It's now. Yes.
Okay. So that's a good advice for someone who is looking to invest in Kenya. And what you have talked about things to look out for, but in a nutshell, can you tell them what to be on the lookout for if they want to buy land?
On the lookout.
Red flags.
So
because we see in the TV people they are really marketing the land. Then you all of a sudden you hear it was a huge scam. Yes, those people lost millions, and if the person is abroad, there's no way to get them. The person has gone to hiding.
It's true. I think the key thing I would say, as I said, it's due diligence. Do your due diligence. Don't trust the word of mouth. Yes, the company may be established, but can you go do that search? Do that land history search. Do that search ya kuonyeshana how has the land been purchased, who have been the previous owners, what were the companies that sold to this other company or to that person. Did the person who sold it, did they buy it legally? Really, you have to do your due diligence. Buying land does not require laziness or over trusting or haste. People have to really take their time. Take their time to investigate, to research, and kusikiza ground. Tunaambiwa tusikize ground. Research on the company. Research on the person who is selling. Go to that area. Talk to the neighbors. How is this land? Does this land have issues? Because neighbors know a lot. The people around that area can tell you a lot. Maybe it has been in dispute, of the person who sold it was not the person who was supposed to sell it. So you have to do your due diligence as a person.
Okay. Does the company selling to you the land matter? Does the person, there are people who sell land through your friend is selling a land, then there's a friend who comes tells you this friend is. Does that process matter?
Or referrals or
Referrals.
either you're being
Probably
referred
there's
to.
just a sheet somewhere written plots for sale.
At the end of the day, do your due diligence. See, the first thing we said is that una visit your site visits, ndio. You have to ask for the copy of the title deed. Ili uende kwa land registry or the Ministry of Land, you confirm who is the owner. Then you have to confirm, are you talking to the actual owner or are you talking to an agent?
Yes.
Ndio. You have to do your due diligence, land history. If you can be able to talk with the owner at least, or lazima ufanye hiyo kazi yote. See, don't overtrust friends. Ati huyu anajua huyu. Make sure you do your due diligence. In buying of land, there is no shortcut. Follow the long route so that at least if there is any red flag, you'll be able to identify it early enough.
Okay.
Yes.
So there's other thing that has been coming up so much in the, let's say, in the financial budgets of the country, saying they are going to introduce land rates and so on. Are those things really existing?
Of course, they are going to come about, but we have to wait for the official communication from the government.
How do you think that is going to affect land buying in the country and land ownership?
Of course, it's going to affect. Cannot say that it's not going to affect. It may affect the pricing, may affect the buying and the selling of it at the end of the day. Lazima zita affect you. But we are really trusting that it will not make the real estate a harder place to invest, because we request for the government that acquiring land, buying of land may be made a bit easier for young people to be able to acquire land rather than making it hard. So of course it will affect in one way or the other.
What is your parting shot to our viewer?
My parting shot is that if there is a time to invest, it is now, especially young people. And investing in land, I'd say, is the best option. A place where you can buy land for speculation, you can buy land to build, land for commercial use, any other purpose. That now is the time to invest. And Nawiriland Investment Ltd is a very fertile place for you to invest. We have a variety of land places. Kona mashamba matu, we have Juja Farm, we have Juja Town, we have Joska, we have Nyeri Mwiga, we have Morera. My encouragement is to invest in land, and we can never lose in investing in land. So I will encourage them to look at our pages.
I will
or contact us. Yes.
I will add all those pages in the description box so that they can go and check out the lands that you mentioned in different areas.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have areas outside Nairobi? Most of them it's Juja Matu is within Nairobi outskirts.
We have one project, Pazuri Gardens. It's in Nyeri Mwiga. Yeah, Nyeri Mwiga Road. Yes. Pazuri Gardens, 50 by 100. We are selling them at a very affordable price. We have flexible payment plans of up to 12 months. Yes.
That is really good. It makes the process of acquiring land very easy. Because you are able to schedule how will I pay for these lands.
Yes.
Okay. Are you buying land?
We are buying majorly for projects. We buy for our projects to resell again. Of course we buy. Yeah.
So you're open both ways. Those who want to sell land can come to you.
Actually, we help those who have land and they want to sell. We help them get clients. They just have to contact us. We check out the land, we check out the documents, and we assist them in marketing and looking for them for a client. It may not be us, but tunaweza watafutia client mwenye anaweza wanunulia shamba. Yes.
Wow. Thank you so much, Ann, for demystifying land ownership in Kenya. It's, from looking outside, it could look like a very hard process, but once you break it down and you give people what to look out for and what to look for, then it becomes as simple as it is.
Yes.
I'm happy to have you, and I hope to have you back.
Thank you so much for having me. I've enjoyed the time, and I'm looking forward to come back again.
Karibu sana.
Asante.
Thank you so much, our viewer, for listening in. I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe. Asante.